45 is many things. A liar, a failed businessman, a failed celebrity, a failed squatter of the United States, and if you take his word for it, the most mistreated man in history. And he also lies about how much money he has. He won't even really tell you. As he moves into the 2020 election campaign, 45 stage is set. The conclusion of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation and its indeterminate results have allowed him to capitalize on the commonly held belief that it's just 45 versus the world. In an interview with ABC's News, George Stephanopoulos, 45, lambasted Mueller's witch hunt and claimed, "There's never been a time in our history of our country when somebody has been so mistreated as I have been." Certainly, 45 has faced extraordinary obstacles, congressional pushback, and demonizing press coverage, to name a few, but none are exclusive to his squadancy. Each one of 45's predecessors was met with political opposition and revelry that caused being installed agendas, negative attention, and for some life itself. Abraham Lincoln was one such president who was mistreated, but not even 45 makes this cut. Although they do say 45 that Abraham Lincoln was treated very badly, really badly, I must say that's the one, if you can believe it, Abraham Lincoln was treated supposedly very badly, 45 said. But nobody's been treated badly like me, and this way I can fight the dishonest media, the corrupt media, and the fake news. 45 is fake news because that's what he is. He spreads fake news. Lincoln, if he was still alive, might beg to differ. He inspired such violent opposition that states tried to leave the Union upon his election, and then later he became the victim of assassination. So too did Presidents James Garfield, William McKinley, and John F. Kennedy. Ronald Reagan and Theodore Roosevelt survived assassination attempts. That's a bit worse than 45's treatment, and there are many non-presidential Americans who have been treated far worse than 45. Take Ohio resident Ricky Jackson, for example, who spent 39 years behind bars for a crime he did not commit. He was wrongly sentenced to life for murder when he was 19, and Jackson nearly avoided the death penalty, and it wasn't until half of his life had passed by him that he was finally able to walk free. Negative press coverage is hardly comparable. Yes, the media's coverage of 45 is biased and more often than not unfair. Is it unjust? Maybe. If anything, a combative press is a sign of a healthy republic. Better for the press to rise up and check the government than to roll over and worship a cult of 45. Of course, 45's appeal to victimhood is an absurd exaggeration and should be treated as such. We know better than to take the man's word literally, but this narrative should draw more than just eye rolls. It serves a strategic purpose. It turns 45 into a martyr, crucified by the establishment, and burnt at the stake by a politically correct inquisition. If today's polarization has taught us anything, it's that victimhood is a cheap commodity until it's politically expedient. 45's agenda is largely intact. His judicial appointments are successfully reshaping the courts, and his party still controls half of Congress. These many successes are important, but Trump would rather focus on alleged wrongs. I still haven't seen any success coming out of the White House from him, so I don't know what they're talking about there. 45's claim to victimhood does a disservice to those whom justice failed. And justice has many targets, and the squad of the United States is not one of them.